back with another episode of Talking to the Game. I'm your host, Marquise, and I'm here with my two brothers.
It's your boy Joe Sue back at it again.
KB, always a pleasure.
And you know we're going to talk our talk. And we're going to get it started with no other than the Blake Griffin to the Brooklyn Nets. Tell me what y'all think, man, because this is getting crazy over there in Brooklyn.
I think it's getting ridiculous at this point. This is like literally the Monstars team forming together out of nowhere. Like you got Kyrie, James Harden, KD, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan. Like that's an all around type of starting five right there.
That's a valid starting five.
That is a really good starting five. You have scoring and you have defense. You have 3-level scoring and you have perimeter defense and you have low post defense. Like it's a win-win on both sides of the court. But I don't know. I just feel like it's not gonna be the greatest. But I wish him the luck. I wish him the best. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I don't. Go ahead, Sue. Go ahead.
Well, I don't got much to say, but I will say that they are doing great offensively with the new pickup, but it's not going to work just yet. That defensive side still needs to be adjusted a little more because they'll have to be able to have great offensive teams against like the Lakers, the Clippers, the Jazz. They a lot of those teams, they put up points. And the Nets, they are number one in points right now, 114 per game. That's cool, but those teams I just named can keep up with you. And y'all putting in 40 minutes, we're healthy enough. Your best player has been dealing with injury, resting a lot. So anything can happen in the middle of the game. We're healthy and we got the cardio. We can rest because our bench players can actually put up points while we're chilling. Y'all defense, y'all bench can't even say the same thing.
It's a difference.
So yeah, y'all doing cool on the offensive side, but y'all gotta still fix up that bench and fix that defense, and then we'll say y'all get to win the championship.
I'll say this. I don't think he was the necessary piece that was missing. I would have preferred for them to get Andre Drummond. I think he would have been a better fit, being him a consistent 2020 guy. I think with them being number one in points is not the issue. Yeah. I see defense as the issue, and I see getting more rebounds as the issue. I think those would be the Achilles heel of that team. I don't think nobody can really stop them on the offensive end.
Right.
He's a playmaker. James Harden, a playmaker. Kevin Durant, a playmaker. Like when you just have three people who are 3-level scorers come together like that, it's just so overwhelming. It's just what can they do on the defensive end, and that has been the Achilles heel of that team, as you've seen, and been in multiple close games. Whether the team is above 500 or below 500, didn't matter. They were in close games, but that's when it starts to separate. Because how many close games do you want to be in when it comes to the playoffs? You don't want every game to be a close game. You want to be able to win by 10. You want to be able to win by 15, 20, instead of always having to play those 40-plus minutes in each playoff game, because it's going to come to the wear and tear. I don't think anybody has the offensive power like they do. It's just, can they keep playing that way at such a high level later on in the season? Yeah. So I definitely like to see a different pickup. If they manage to still get Andre Drummond, I think now it's really becoming a difference, because now you have Blake and Andre. And now Blake, I expect him to come off the bench anyway.
Yeah, he has to.
Now you have to really think if you have both of those, because if you got him, where does KD now fits? Where do Joe Harris now fits?
Joe Harris got to come off the bench.
Oh,
Joe Harris. I mean, yeah.
You got to start the Twin Towers.
You already have your starting core.
You're going to have the Twin Towers back there, like you had 99 with Duncan and Robinson. You're going to have DeAndre Jordan and Andre Drummond back there. And then you're going to have your three guys up front. You got length almost at every position. other than Kyrie. Kyrie's the only guy that that isn't really long. Like James Harden does have long arms. KD, especially long arms, long body. But that's a really good starting five. And Blake coming off the bench, Joe Harris coming off the bench, the perimeter guy and a low post guy, like that helps. That definitely helps.
But the thing about it that I like Joe in the starting lineup is because he no longer has to like create his own shot or anything. I'm not saying he can't, or because he never been like a crazy ball handler, get you off the dribble. He always been good, one pull up dribble, maybe two right dribbles to the right to lay up, but he's great at spot up shooting. But now it's like you bring him and you have Blake Griffin. It's kind of almost like it's hard because this is where you're missing Spencer Dinwiddie. This is why he was such a key factor, because he can play with that second unit. So imagine if you had Spencer back and you do sign someone like Andre Drummond. Now your second five is just as good as your first five with Spencer Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, Blake Griffin, Jeff Green. You know what I'm saying? Bruce Bowen. Like, that's a solid second five that could possibly, any of those guys could potentially start in anywhere else. And that's where I think they're going to miss Spencer Dinwiddie as that third primary ball handler. I'm not saying KD's not a ball handler, but when you're playing with, you playing with Kyrie, you play with James Harden, you don't have to handle the ball. You don't need to come up and create your own shot. That takes more or less for you to do so you could do more at the end game. You know what I mean? It's time to like start utilizing your weapons more and more efficiently to set up for end game. So when you have a closer like Kevin Durant, you could let Kyrie and James Harden go off. Or when you have somebody like Kyrie, it's just like how can you manipulate these players, like these three great players, and manipulate the pieces around them. So this is definitely going to be a task for Steve Nash, I think, which is very hard when you have this much talent around you.
It's your first year, like first year coaching, first year head coach. You're on the spotlight for this. Like, it's a really tough decision, or not decision, but it's going to be a really tough journey for him. Trying to integrate Blake into the system. And really trying to turn this team back into more of a more complete team. Because when your offense is your defense, it's tough to win ball games a lot. Like you're going to be in a lot of dog fights at the end of the games in the regular season. So the thing about in the playoffs, you're going to be out of gas.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, there's no way you cannot not have a defense to rely on. Like if you think about even those San Antonio teams, they may not have been great offensively, but they were very fundamentally sound defensively, and that's what got them championships. That's what got them through playoff rounds. That's what beat them, Kobe and Dirk Nowitzki and Steve Nash and all those teams, and Tracy McGrady and all those teams down there. You got to have defense. And when your offense is your defense, sometimes you're not gonna have offense. It's not gonna always work. You're gonna be tired, fatigued. What's gonna happen? It's a real slippery slope that they put themselves in.
Definitely. But I think the thing is that because they have so many pieces, it's almost like it is very, very rare that you're going to have three people like Kyrie, James Harden, and Kevin Durant that have off nights at the same time.
Oh, of course.
Very, very lucky. Because even two of them can have an off night, but the third one is the one that's going to kill you.
Yeah.
And then don't let all three of them click. So at the end of the day, they have to keep relying on what they already know, the team that they are. They know that they're a fast-paced team. They know they can score a lot, and they know they can defend, I guess, when it comes down to the end game, because they have won a lot of close games. They've been in a lot of close games, and they won a lot of close games, which is an advantage, but you don't want to always be in a close game. You know what I mean?
Disadvantage. It's a major disadvantage.
Yeah.
So it could go either way. Man, let's fast forward. Miles Leonard.
Don't you say his name?
Tell me what you think about this guy, because we all play video games, and we all have those encounters with other folks online, them using language, let's just say. And this guy who's a Twitch streamer playing the NBA, he has a contract with FaZe, and he goes out on the limb. Slur. Just
uses it.
like he's recording himself at that.
It's like he forgot.
Look,
I don't know, man.
I can't. There's nothing I can say about it, man. It's like this. If this isn't a lesson for one to stop hate, it's just stop the hate speech for one, and two, know what you're saying at all times. Like, be mindful of your surroundings. Be mindful of your scenario, your situation. Like, whatever you're doing, be mindful. Like, that's crazy. Like, whatever. Like, even if saying it in private, like it's crazy. Like, think like somebody thinks like that, has that on their brain and stuff like that. But at the same time, I mean, to have it come out and you recording yourself, dude, I ain't got nothing to say. That's crazy.
That's the funny part. He snitched on himself.
Yeah, I mean,
Can't make this up.
That's you. This is your IP address, sir. Like, this is
like,
not
come
you.
on, this is you. This is you.
How did they catch you in 4K?
4K.
He said, "No, that ain't me."
I'm sorry. This is your account, isn't it? Okay. My bad. Maybe we're tripping. So what you think, man? I don't know.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. The only thing I can say, I'm glad the Heat did what they did with him. He doesn't get to play for a little bit, but just I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. He's crazy.
And that's what I did like, though. I did like that the Heat did take action immediately.
Yeah, I like that.
What happened? I mean, because come on, as an NBA player, you have to be aware of like your stats. You just can't be saying anything out your mouth, and just the fact that you, like you said, you do have that in your mental. The fact that you just can say something out there, like you just go out on
with the history behind it and all that. So I was like,
and then what's crazy is what is crazy though to me is the fact that he said he doesn't know anything about it or whatever the case may be. When he said like you don't know any better, but you somehow know this word. You know what I mean? So where did you get taught that down the line? You know what I mean?
You're a grown man. You learned this.
A grown man. You know what I mean?
You can choose when or what words to use, and that word just came out. So it's like
that was
it's
the
in
word.
your vocabulary.
Is it something that always stuck out to me? Like it's in your, like you said, it's in your vocabulary. Like whenever you have when you're at a loss of words, you always revert back to what you know, or whenever like that vocabulary or that vernacular, that slang or whatever you was using.
Mm-hmm.
He used that word before.
You know,
oh yeah,
he used it.
He used that word before.
He knows he hasn't used it in a while. And he was like, "Oh, okay, that's what it sounds like coming out." Like I can't think that no more. But I mean, look, at this point, yeah, he might be out the NBA. I don't know.
I don't know if they're going.
I don't think he's going to be out. I don't think he's going to be out.
He wasn't that good to begin with. He was the 11th man in front of Udonis Haslem last year.
If he was going to be out,
the player coach, damn near. So
if he was going to be out the NBA, he was going to be out.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't the Heat release him?
Nah, he's just suspended. He's just suspended. Yeah, that's
the NBA fine.
Yeah.
If he's going to be out, he would have been out. He's not out.
I mean,
they're not going to get rid of him anytime soon.
He insulted the owners.
Suspended.
And that weighs a lot more with the owners than anything.
That's what I would have thought, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, no, this will come up on the next contract. I tell you that.
Yeah.
The thing is,
still in the NBA, you think he cares? He's
my bad. He's a Twitch superstar, so I mean, he probably makes more money there. But anyway,
but either way, he's still gonna get his check. He's
more power to you, Meyers, but that's unacceptable, sir.
Man, let's switch sports, man. Let's switch avenues. Let's hit the NFL. Dak Prescott, 4 years, $160 million. Do you think he is worthy of this type of money?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Okay, I'm not gonna give him 160, but I'm definitely gonna say he's worth a franchise tag.
Do you know what they're paying him?
He turned the team around. He turned the team
75.
around.
He turned around?
When I say he turned the team around offensively, and then when he went down, we all saw what happened. He is a key. He don't fake. Do not act like Dak Prescott is not a key contributor to that Cowboys offense.
Nobody's saying that.
No. Okay, cool.
But does he deserve to get paid as a top tier quarterback if you're not a top tier?
Giving top 10 numbers.
Like I said, I'm not gonna give him 160, but I'm still gonna franchise tag him because he's the best quarterback I have right now. And he's been going to the playoffs. We have been leading in the division lately with him as our quarterback.
But I would have paid him when he was doing that, though. You should have paid him in his third year.
This is the same organization that didn't pay Emmitt Smith.
Yeah, but then they turned around and then they paid everybody but Dak. They paid 5 people before they even thought about paying Dak. And Dak was the one leading them, like you said. So, I mean, at this point, and then now he get hurt, and now they come back and try to spend $75 million first year.
When he went down, their season went down with him. So now Jerry Jones slow self wants to realize our bet. Now I'm going to franchise tag him. Should have been did it, like you said. I agree. He should have been did it.
Yeah, I'm saying he should have been paid him if he was going to pay him, but just business wise, paying the dude after getting injury, it's going to be interesting to see how he bounces back. And then pay him 75 the first year.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
You're getting that bag though.
I don't think he's worth the money.
I don't either.
Please.
I don't think he's a Super Bowl quarterback.
Knowledge on us. Why?
I don't think he's a Super Bowl quarterback.
Because he hasn't made it to
over 30 touchdowns.
No.
How many times he throw over 30 touchdowns? Once?
I think his highest was maybe
33. Pretty sure 33 is his highest. Go ahead, Sue. I know you're looking at it.
I think he's averaging about 28.
How many times he throw over 30 touchdowns? Once, right? He had 33. Yeah. I'm not paying that man that money, especially coming off an injury like that. 75 mil his first year. How much he get guaranteed? He got something guaranteed like what was it like 76 mil guarantee, or was it like 90 mil guarantee? It's one or the other.
It's between like 70 something like 85 or something like that.
It's somewhere high he has guaranteed.
I mean, look.
No, he might have 120 guaranteed. He's ridiculous. That's guaranteed in his contract. Coming up injury, and you only threw 30 touchdowns, more than 30 once. And you
that was the season before he got injured. And that was actually a big improvement because he threw 22 touchdowns the season before.
Cool. And then this season, what you think he was going to throw?
I mean, he had nine touchdowns in 5 games.
And he had how many picks? 4.
Okay.
So every 2 touchdowns you throw a buck?
Isn't the greatest. Actually.
Every 2 touchdowns you throw a buck? I'm not paying him.
The question is this. Is he worth, let's just take the contract at face value, $40 million a year. Is he that quarterback that's worth $40 million a year?
$30 million.
So no. Is he worth $40 million a year? That's the average.
A $40 million quarterback to me is a quarterback who I know has the capabilities of getting me to the Super Bowl.
I don't know if
Aaron Rodgers,
get that.
Tom Brady. Right. I think Deshaun Watson is very special. So yes, I will pay him because I think he has the accolades to get there. You see the people I'm naming? Pat Mahomes.
Lamar.
Is Lamar, because he's a special quarterback. He has the attribute that Dak doesn't have.
I might even pay Josh Allen.
And he's a winner. I'm not saying Dak is not I'm not gonna say he's not a winner, but
40 mil a year.
between him and Lamar, I'm taking Lamar each day. But I'm just saying, like, I don't see what you see as him being special. Like, he's not special. Aaron Rodgers. These are all people who I think are capable of getting me to a Super Bowl. When I think 40 mil, I don't think Dak.
Mm-mm.
Regardless of my O-line situation, I don't think Dak. That's not a person who I'm just throwing money at all willy-nilly. Like, even if it is for right now, like, I think some of these owners who just throw money, they just want to be where they still are at. You know, I think they're complacent with just being the wild card or making it to the second round and getting knocked out. Like, if you know your team is not going to win with this quarterback or win with the O-line that you have, like, why would you set yourself up to put yourself in a deeper hole for the future by signing someone like Dak to a contract that is no way you think he's 40 mil or 160 million for 4 years? You if you don't give me 40 touchdowns next season, you are, that is, I don't care. It's no 37, no 38, no 39, no 35. I need 40 touchdowns. I'm paying you 40 million, regardless of your injury.
It's going to be a big proof.
Do y'all think he's a 40 touchdown quarterback?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe
40 touchdowns, he's throwing it once.
Maybe.
I will give him
gonna sleep. I'm not gonna sleep because you could say no now, and then next season he comes back and he comes back better.
He's a quarterback
I doubt it.
He's a quarterback that needs his running game in order for him to be successful. He relies on his running game.
Zeke doesn't get
Elliott needs to be Ezekiel Elliott needs to be himself. He wasn't himself really after Dak left. And honestly, he really wasn't himself all season. So if he can turn it back on, it's going to help Dak out. Maybe Dak could get 35. Maybe,
but he's not getting 40 with Zeke.
Again. But 40?
He's not getting 40 with Zeke. It's no way.
Because
you don't know.
You have to feed Zeke. That means Zeke is getting 20 touches. Easy. He's getting 20. He's touching the ball 20 times.
In order to get 40 touchdowns, he's probably going to have to throw 35 times a game. At least.
If Zeke gets at least 20 touches, Dak doesn't necessarily need to throw for 40 touchdowns because Zeke will be able to carry the offensive touchdown load as well. He's gonna he's gonna be top 5 in touchdowns, maybe top 2. It's either gonna be him or Henry for number 1.
That's cool and all, but if I'm paying you 40 mil, I want.
He's gonna produce though. He's gonna produce, and even if he doesn't
40 mil worthy, that's the question.
Sometimes having 40 touchdowns in the regular season don't matter as long as you can score and get us to the big game and keep scoring to win us that game. That's all that matters.
So that's
so why would I pay you all that money if I'm relying more on my halfback for you to
put relying more on your halfback? You're putting the load on both of them.
So let me ask you a question.
You know you need Zeke.
What is 40 mil worthy to y'all? What is 40 mil worthy to you, Sue? What is 40 mil worthy? Like, in order to be like, you earned your contract of this year, 40 mil on average. And actually, he'd be making 75 his first year. But let's say on average, 40 mil, right? What would you say, like, what do you think his expectations would be as a $40 million quarterback?
His expectations, you could expect 40 touchdowns, but I'm expecting no less than 35. No less than 35.
All right, what about
I expect Zeke to get touches too. I expect Zeke to have touchdowns as well.
That's not the question.
That has nothing to do with Zach for real.
The question is what is your expectation for a 40 mil quarterback?
And what are your expectations for the team?
In the backfield.
Okay, for Dak, I expect
No, not for Dak. What is your expectations for a 40 mil quarterback, regardless of who they are?
That's a good question.
I mean, okay, my expectations.
Don't pick a person.
Now, I'm
Just
not
your
not
expectations.
picking a person. Like I said, at least 35 touchdowns. I want less than 5 interceptions, actually. I want you to be able to take me to the big game, of course. So I'm expecting you to produce. Okay. Now everybody's gonna throw 40 touchdowns, but I'm expecting at least 35. So that's putting a big number on you, and you need to live up to it.
35.
That's low for
35.
a male quarterback.
35 is too low for you.
I'm
At
expecting
least
40
35.
with 7 interceptions.
At least 35, and you need no more than 5 interceptions. I'm paying you to take me all the way. That's 40 million. So this is what I'm expecting. Now beat it. You want 40, that's fine.
40 mil, I'm expecting.
I'm expecting at least 35.
That's what you.
You
said
said
what?
you expecting 50?
I'm expecting between 45 and 50, and I say 5 to 7 interceptions.
I would say 40. I'll say 40 because it's hard for a lot of people to hit 40 consistently. So
yeah, but if I'm paying you 40 mil,
that's what I'm saying. At least 35.
You do something that makes me expect you to do something to get to 45, 50 touchdowns or $40 million. Like if I think you're only good for 35 to 40 touchdowns, I'm only going to pay you maybe 31, maybe 27. So
I would have said
that's
25.
what I said.
maybe 25.
So yeah.
So
I can see. I can
$40
honestly.
million quarterback.
I can see
be like a Drew Brees, Peyton Manning throwing for 50 touchdowns and
Yeah, I was
single
gonna
digit
say a $40
interceptions.
million quarterback is Andrew Luck.
I'm throwing. That's why I said if I throw you 40 mil, I want 40 touchdowns per season with 7 interceptions. That means you have to play at a MVP level for you to get this 40 mil. That's what I want. I want you to be in the MVP race, regardless.
You've already been in the MVP race by that time too.
Exactly my point. That means you would have already threw for 40 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. To
I
show
want
that you
40
earned that money.
touchdowns. 40 touchdowns. I could care less about your passing yards. I want 40 touchdowns and 7 interceptions or less.
I want no more than 5. No more than
But
5.
he's only getting 35 touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm saying it's 35 and 5. That's fine.
That's
I need
very
Aaron
doable.
Rodgers 48 and 5.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I need.
48 and 5.
And, I don't think he's making 40 million a year.
No.
Now he had to. Well,
I think he's making 32 or 33 if I'm not mistaken.
Like what? Why would I give you that type of money? Why would I give you top 5 money?
Aaron's got a ring, and he's consistent. Like he is a shoo-in for the NFC Championship every year. Everybody only talks about who the other team is going to be. Is it the Rams? Is the Saints? Is like who's it going to be? That's it. But it's always the Packers is going to be in the NFC Championship.
Oh no, I don't like the contract at all. I think at this point, they're regressing. I think they're going to regress. I think they're going to be in the rebuilding stage in a couple of years. I give them like 2 to 3 years before they start rebuilding. Because that's what it's looking like. You don't give somebody like that 160 mil.
Yeah, Zeke could be about it.
You know how the thing is, imagine giving him 160 mil and still not winning your division. And you know how bad your division is? That's what I'm saying. If you don't win that division, are you crazy to not win that division and you're getting paid that much money? That's embarrassing. It's no way. It's like it's really no excuse. They're the favorite regardless. Like they have to believe that they're the favorite.
You got to. Yeah.
There's no quarterback in Washington.
Yeah.
New York, garbage.
Yeah.
Who else? Philly, they don't know what they're doing. And you're telling me you still can't win the division? You still can't win the division? Nah, bro. Nah, if you don't
playing just to win
the division. The thing is, they have to win the division convincingly, though. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just scrape by. You have to beat every team twice. You can't lose.
Yeah,
you can't lose. You can lose to anybody else, but the people in your division, you need to win the division. Like, at that point, like, I'm just throwing money just to waste it. And that's what it looked like he's doing. So if they don't win the division, if they don't if they don't go at least to the NFC conference, which they probably won't, I don't know.
It's gonna be
But I'm paying you.
That defense, if their defense is actually a little bit better, then they'll make it to the second round.
40 mil though. Okay.
40 mil though. Like,
I would not pay him that. I would give him maybe 30 million. 30
so
million.
long story short, you don't agree with the contract.
Far from it.
Cool. All right. Just
Far
had to
from
clear that up. Just had to make sure.
Man,
Far from it.
let's
Sound
switch
like you
teams,
agree with it
man.
for a second.
Yeah,
No, I don't agree with it. I just say I would pay him 30 million, but for off of the contract he got now, then he needs to produce.
Thing is, he wanted 35. I'm sorry, I know we take it too long, but he wanted 35 before. No, he wanted 35. They offered him 32 because that was like the second or third highest at the time, 32. And he come back with a 40. Yeah,
40 ball.
it's crazy. This is
Oh no,
crazy.
Jerry
Man,
Jones got it. I
Crazy.
don't know.
I don't know what to
It's
say.
Jerry Jones, man. It's Jerry Jones.
So
Stafford, Carson.
let's switch teams. What's going on in Seattle? The release of Carlos Dunlap, like at this point, we don't know what's going on with Russ. What's going on in Seattle?
It's a rebuild.
At Dallas. But we pay Dak. Anyway, what's going on in Seattle?
I don't know. It's a rebuild. It's just classic signs of a rebuild. And I'm sorry for Russ that he's got to go through it. I don't know if he's going to go through it all season, but you know, the Seahawks they're quietly trying to do a rebuild.
Oh, and you can't,
That defense that they need.
it's not getting no quiet. But I definitely think it's a rebuild. I definitely think it's time to move on from Russ, because if you're not going to give him what he deserves, 40 mil. It's like that. But if you're not going to give him the O-line that he deserves and build around him how you should have been doing, then it's time to let him go and blossom somewhere. Let that man spread his wings somewhere else and let him win another championship for another team. That's just what I think.
They're clearly in a rebuild. I thought that before Drew Brees retired, I thought that a good trade for him, since he's going to be here for a year and a veteran minimum. I thought that would be a good trade for the Seahawks. They get a good quarterback, and they get to buy themselves a year to figure out what they're really going to do as far as drafting a quarterback for next year or this coming draft. But that fell through the cracks. But maybe they could trade for Deshaun. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they could trade for somebody else.
Why would Deshaun Watson want to go from getting sacked 50 times to keep getting sacked 50 times? Maybe 60.
Girl.
Who knows?
I mean, hey, man. They're in a rebuild. I think that the teams that Watson is trying to go to anyway are on the incline from a rebuild. They're headed in the right direction. So I can understand that, but he's not going to a contender or anything like that. So
that's for sure. Man, what do y'all think about the re-signing of Brady and Cam Newton?
With Tom Brady, they're going back to the championship. I said it now. With Cam Newton, they're just buying time.
I think that was they're going back to Super Bowl. I'm sorry. Once I saw who they're bringing back defensively as well, I was like, oh yeah, they're stacked. They got their players that are another year smarter, another year wiser. I'm really excited to see what Todd Bowles does in the second year, and I'm excited to see what Byron Leftwich does in his second year as well. So it's going to be. I'm interested to see what's going to happen in Tampa Bay. Come back.
And the best, I can't say the best part, but the easiest part about it for Tom Brady, Drew Brees just retired. So now that conference, that division is his. his. He's going undefeated in that division.
Because Atlanta, Carolina, neither one of them teams doing anything. Sorry,
Nope.
I know you found
No
me.
offense.
I'm gonna just tell you like this: we always play whoever hard in our division. We have the toughest division, so it's hard to come out the division. I'm gonna just say that. It's hard to beat a team twice in your division.
I know, but you think about the NFC West. That's a pretty tough division.
I would say that division a little tougher.
Top to
The
bottom.
South has always ran, and I'm just telling you what I know.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
All right.
I'm just telling you what I know. So
I'll give it to you.
surprised if it's another 2 teams that come out of there again. That's all I'm.
Next week we'll come back and we'll talk about that. How about that?
We will. But I think Tom Brady. I think Henry signing and then bringing everybody back. That's definitely going to be crazy to what they can accomplish their second season. But it's hard to win back to back. It's hard to win a Super Bowl twice. As you
Didn't Tom Brady already do that?
When did he do it?
Back to back?
He didn't ever went
Did
back
he do
to
it?
back. He went. It was like every other. He went in 99. Then he went in. I think it was 01, then 03, then 05.
He was drafted in 2000. So he didn't go till like 2003, and 2000.
He won his rookie year.
All I'm asking you is when did he win back-to-back Super Bowls?
He
Okay.
won his rookie year. When he came in for Bledsoe.
Yeah, just tell me when he went back-to-back Super Bowls.
I don't think he ever went back to back.
Never. Go ahead, tell me, Sue. Let me know.
1 second.
1 second. Let me know.
I got you.
Oh wait.
Put that music in there.
You went back-to-back?
I'm weak at y'all.
You can copyright that.
Did he?
I'm weak at y'all.
He went to back-to-back, but did he win back-to-back? Huh? It's taking an awful long time. All you gotta do is say back-to-back Super Bowls. Tom Brady. Then bring it up. It's Tom Brady. Golly. You're reading.
I'm happy. While he's doing that, I'm happy for Cam too. So
Yeah. How about that?
to both of them. I wish them both the best in the future. Cam, he's the sad thing is that he's getting older, and it's that he still has his talents. They're just not as sharp, but he still is the same type of quarterback. It's just, man, it was just he just never really got it. He just never really got it. Turn that corner for him. Just never really clicked. So I'm hoping that he ends his career eventually in the next 5 or so years. He has a less, more years, but man, I don't know, man. I don't know if he's.
I think he just needed another season. He had no off season, so that was against. Sure. They didn't really have the people offensive end. I think this upcoming season, with him having a full off season, preseason too, I think this would be a year where you really see what he's going to do. And just him being competitive as he is.
Found it.
This would be nice. When did he win it?
2004 and 2005. He beat the Panthers and he beat the Eagles.
What year is it?
He said 2004, 2005.
That was what?
What year is it? And he went to the Super Bowl his first season with the new system.
All of that is irrelevant.
In a tougher division.
All of that is irrelevant.
In a tougher division.
All of that is irrelevant. All of that is irrelevant. He did it once. How many times did he go back to back? He went back to back Super Bowls quite a few times, right?
That's cool. That's cool.
He did it once.
That's cool.
Because that's how hard it is to win back-to-back Super Bowls.
He wasn't playing a tougher conference. The NFC is way tougher.
All of that is irrelevant. It doesn't matter to the conversation.
Back to back.
You want to know why it doesn't matter? Because the conference is not the Super Bowl.
Back to back.
How many times did he do it? Once. You know how many times he lost back-to-back?
My point. Back to back.
What point did you prove if he's 1-3 going back-to-back?
My point is he did it once, he can do it again. especially if he did it, especially when he did it the first season with a brand new team, brand new system, and in a tougher conference, back to back.
He won his rookie year Super Bowl with the Patriots. So what are you telling me?
He didn't win it his rookie year. He was drafted in 2000.
His rookie year, his second year, does it really matter? It's the same thing, basically.
Not really. Rookie year is not second year, third
I'm pretty
year.
sure he won.
He was drafted in 2000. He won it within 5 years, but he did not win it his rookie season.
He did not win it within 5 years. I'm pretty sure he had like 2 and 3 years.
Within 5 years. So it was no more than 5 years that he got one ring.
He won in 2002.
Exactly my point.
Point is, he won it within 5, and it wasn't his rookie.
Which was his second year.
It was his second.
He didn't really play his first year.
Yeah, he was behind Drew Bledsoe, so his second year at the end of 2002. So yeah, it was his second year.
Second year.
It was in his first 16 games though. So really,
you feel me? Come on.
He still can do it.
It's irrelevant to what you're saying with a whole new conference and stuff. It's hard to win back to back because if he would have done it more than once. He won the Super Bowl how many times? 7 times? How many times did he win back to back? Once?
Okay.
Let's just say,
like I said, it's hard to do it.
Not on the side, but wish him all the best. You know, the chances are not.
I'm not. Hey, if he wins it, he wins it. But yeah,
the chances are not on the side.
He can go, but it's been proven that he hasn't won back to back more than once.
That's fine. It's incredibly difficult
to do. That's what I'm saying. That it's hard to do, as you can just see with Kansas City.
That's true.
Oh, with Kansas, you
gotta realize a lot of teams who's trying to go back to back end up playing against Tom Brady.
No.
What team has done that other than the Chiefs?
Seattle.
No, that's what I'm saying. You want to know why? Because it's hard to make it to the Super Bowl back to back.
They're back when they went back to back Super Bowls, won 2014, went 2015. Who did they?
That's the only team.
No, they didn't play. They didn't play the Patriots in 2014. They played the Broncos.
That's when they won. 2015 is when they lost.
I know they didn't come back. They didn't come back another year.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. They went back to back. It was that.
So you telling me Seattle's been to the Super Bowl 3 times?
Touchdown, huh?
Seattle's been to the Super Bowl 3 times.
They've been to the Super Bowl twice.
So one time they beat the Broncos, and
the first time they beat the Broncos, and the second time they lost to Seattle because they didn't get the ball to Marshawn.
No, they lost. Yes. They lost to the Patriots.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That's only one game. They've only lost to the Patriots.
And the Chiefs just did that too.
What I'm saying is they've only lost to the Patriots one time in the Super Bowl. They didn't lose to them back to back.
Nobody was saying that.
You just said that.
No, I didn't. I said, listen to what I said. Listen to what I said. I said the teams that tried to win back to back ended up playing Tom Brady and lost. That's what I said. The Chiefs and Seattle both won the Super Bowl the year before, went back to the championship, faced Tom Brady, then lost.
They're the only 2 teams that ever went back to back since we've been alive, other than the Patriots.
That's true too.
Exactly.
That's fine and dandy. That's fine and dandy.
Hopefully you guys have good points though.
They played Tom Brady, they ended up losing.
Both of those are good points.
Brady can get back to back. It can be harder. Nobody's saying it's easy, but I'm telling you, he's gonna win back to back.
I don't agree, but it's gonna be an interesting NFL season, especially all these free agency, contracts and
if
deals.
If y'all feel as though he's not gonna win back to back, give me a team that's gonna beat him.
I mean,
nobody thought Kansas City would lose, and look what happened.
Buffalo.
So give me a team that can beat them.
I think Buffalo.
I have to see until I don't know until the season starts.
Yeah.
So if you can't give me a team that can beat them, you can't say they're not going to go back to back.
Nobody thought Kansas City would lose. They lost. My point is,
I must have been the only person who knew they were going to lose. because I knew they were going to lose. As soon as
A
I
lot of
found out
people-
Tom Brady was going to go to the Super Bowl, I was like, yeah, Kansas City is not going to win. They're not.
It's interesting. I mean, I don't know. It's the way I see things is a little bit different. When I see it, it wasn't like it wasn't. Tom Brady didn't do that spectacular in the Super Bowl. That's the thing about it.
Against Seattle or Kansas City,
He wasn't really spectacular.
a great game.
What he did was he managed the game, and at the end of the game, he pulled it out, which is
He did what Tom did what he was supposed to do. He he had the game, but that defense from start to end.
That's the thing. It's just been the defense he's been around. Like that's the thing I've been looking at. If the Buccaneers can keep their defense, which so far they've been doing a pretty good job at, then I think that they have a good chance at it. But as far as mentally and morale and stuff, it's a totally different thing versus talent versus actually playing the game and your mentality going into the next season. Now you're not the team, like nobody on that team other than Gronk and Brady have the experience of being defending champs. That's a different mentality coming into the next season, knowing that you have a target on your back now. It's different when you're talking about it, but living it and you have a real target on your back and everybody's like, oh, the Buccaneers, they're good. Oh, no, they're really good. Oh, yeah, we really about to throw some heat at them.
How many times have he really defended it?
Yeah, I just don't know if they have that mindset yet. That's all.
That's cool.
There's certain teams that have that, and there's certain teams that I feel as though they're underdogs, like the Bills. I think they have a really good chance.
The Bills aren't there just yet, though. I understand your perspective, and I agree with your perspective. However, the Bills are not there just yet.
Based off of last year, I can only based off what I've seen recently and what I've seen last.
And they can make it
last
to the
game,
bowl, but they're not gonna host a Lombardi Trophy yet.
If they would have played the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl, I think it would have been a really good matchup.
Yes, it would.
For that defense, the Bills defense against
The
Tom
Bills
Brady.
offense.
Really against Tom Brady. I don't know exactly what he would have done. I think that they probably would have ran the ball a lot more. But it would have been interesting. It really would have been interesting to see Stephon Diggs versus that Bucs defense versus like Antoine Winfield and stuff like that. But I still think it'd have been a really good game. And I think that, who knows, Josh Allen could have actually made some magic. So I think it would have still been I think it would have been a better game.
Kansas City's not going back.
Nah, I don't know anymore. They ain't got no offensive line now.
They're not going back. So it literally could be the Bills or it could be the Colts.
We will see what they do. You don't really know until the season starts.
I get that.
Everything looks good on paper.
Is there a way to delete Josu from this? He's talking about the Colts again.
Bro,
it's gonna happen.
Nobody's paying attention to Joe.
That's fine. Don't pay attention to us because once we pop out, you're gonna wish you never slept on us.
Oh, this guy again.
Oh my God.
Right. Just
wait. Let's go to boxing.
You're the typical Cowboys fan. That's what you sound like.
Hey,
but let's move forward. Let's move forward.
Let's go to boxing.
This guy.
Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. 2-fight deal.
I'm excited.
I don't like how Anthony Joshua never fought Devontae Wilder.
Because we all know who won.
He go fight Ruiz, lose to Ruiz, then beat Ruiz. So then I'm like, what? I feel like if Tyson Fury got to fight anybody, I feel like he got to fight Devontae again.
But I think he will. Anthony. I think he will. I thought that was going to be the next fight, to be honest with you. But look, man, Deontay, he might still be wobbling off what happened on the last punches. The fight last year and shit.
The thing is, Devontae just ain't got no basics.
Nah, he's all power and that's it.
Because he's tall and he got reach.
Not a boxer.
And he got
he's
a street fighter.
Yeah.
If he just really some of his if he just box, he would have a better chance of beating Tyson Fury.
He gotta learn how to box. He knows how to fight.
Box.
He knows how to fight. He don't know how to box.
That's what I'm saying. He should be in UFC.
I don't know about that. He probably
Hey,
he get
you never
destroyed.
know. He can let him use his feet. He's a tall dude.
That's the
That's a
problem.
totally. If you seen his
You
base
take him down.
now, I don't know.
Take him down. When you have like these short guys who gonna get close to you,
Go get up under him.
you get right up under him and crush him. I don't like that.
I mean, it's UFC. You can use your feet. So if he sees him coming, nice little kick.
All right, hey,
little right.
This is all in theory, guys. This is all in theory.
All in theory. All in theory.
Let's think about the transition from boxing to UFC. We saw McGregor.
I'm not
going
going
to
think about
opposite of it, and you saw how he got worked. I mean,
think about it. Let it fly. Let it fly. I just think that Tyson Fury should be fighting Deontay Wilder again. I don't think I don't want to see this. I feel like Tyson Fury is just going to mop the floor with Anthony Joshua.
But what does Fury have to gain from beating Wilder again? Like he already has the belt.
I feel like it's just one of those. The first time we tied, the second time I won. So let's really close the case. You know what I mean? Let's really put the icing on the cake. If I beat you this last time, it's nothing to even talk about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm not putting my belt on the line for that. For a personal rivalry, I'm not putting the belt for that. I'd rather, if I'm gonna fight for a belt, I'm gonna fight another belt. Another.
You gotta defend it against somebody, though.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna defend it against somebody that doesn't have a belt. At that point, it's a wasted match. It's a personal rivalry versus my legacy.
But I also don't want to fight somebody who I really don't think should be having the belts that he has. I don't think Anthony Joshua is that good of a fighter.
But the fact is he has it. There's a bunch of fighters over the course of history that have won a heavyweight championship or any championship in boxing that may have been like, you're not the best fighter though in that class. And Anthony Joshua is a great fighter. He's not the best fighter in that class. He's a great fighter. And I think that when Tyson Fury fights him, he's going to unify the belts. So it's going to be very interesting. But again, am I going to put a personal rivalry over business? You know, I don't know.
I would, because that's what makes boxing for real. When you
but I'll do that after I unify the belts. I ain't got to.
So you beat him, and then you go back and fight Devontae?
Yeah, that's a personal thing. I've already won the belt. Well, why am I going to put my belt on the line again to fight somebody without a belt for a personal rivalry?
I feel like you. The thing is, you know you can beat this guy. I feel like he knows
exactly. I mean, I get.
It's just not entertaining to me. You know what I mean? If I came here for entertainment, I want to see two people who really gonna go at it. I want to see Devontae and Tyson. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to see Anthony Joshua because I don't think he's. First of all, I don't think they're gonna give us the fight that we all deserve. I think it's just gonna be a classic whooping. To be honest,
Interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how Fury comes out. Sue, what you think though?
I feel as though maybe it was the best choice, you know, just to add to the legacy, you know, because Fury is a problem. You know what I'm saying? He's a problem. Is he really gonna stop him? He did win the first time, right?
Versus Joshua?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I gotta go check that one out.
I don't think they fought at all.
I don't think they fought before.
I don't think they fought before. I think Anthony Joshua was like 33-1, I think, and I think his only loss is against Ruiz.
Yeah, let me see. But Tyson Fury, he's a problem, and he's definitely these two fight deals, he's definitely gonna come out victorious. I understand you might not want to see it, but let's just see what he got in the tank. It's been a while since we've seen him fight, so let's just see what he got.
July and December. I might order it, find a way to watch it, and we'll get it popping.
I swear, if I spend my money for this first one, I'm definitely not spending my money for the second one. If it's not how I think it's.
My thing is, why two fights? If you're gonna have,
you wonder why? Because it's that if I lose,
legacy.
I want to have a chance to win it back.
But that's the thing. At that point, it's like then you're 1-1.
It's a legacy. It could be a legacy.
One.
It could have a legacy impact on either Fury or Joshua.
I want him to fight fight Devontae one more time, because it's like instead of somebody losing the first time, y'all tied. Then the second time you won.
So Fury wants to see off of that. Fury can literally see if he still got it to actually get that tiebreaker with Wilder. All right, he realized Wilder's a very tough competitor. So me personally, if I was a boxer, I go back to back with this person. Now it's a tied series. Let me step away, boost my skills up a little more. So when I come back, I know I can come back victorious. So
But the thing is, I think he's going 2-0. I think he's going 2-0
against Joshua, right?
2-0 him, and then go back and fight Wilder. It just be like, I don't know. I don't know if
the only way to get better is to actually be in the ring. Yeah, you can practice, but while you're in the ring, you're quicker on your feet. You're watching your opponent more. You're picking up on moves quicker than what you would do while you're just practicing or training.
I like to see them both just come out and just him and Wilder and just bro. Like that first one was a great fight. I loved it.
Yeah, the second one was definitely way more methodical. The first one was like, let's see what each other got. What we can throw at each other.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like it has to be a third one. I feel like the third one seals it, depending on if Tyson wins. If Tyson wins, it's sealed. There's no reason to fight a fourth time. But if Wilder wins,
honestly,
now you open the door up for now.
Honestly, to be honest with you, it's real. Like after the first one's a draw, so technically it's a wash. And so if you don't count that one, out of the one fight that we did fight, I won. I'm not fighting you again.
You just suck.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm not fighting you again. I'm sorry.
Like I beat you twice.
Yeah, man.
You got me once. All right, that's cool. But it was the best out of 3, and I won majority. So
yeah, I'm good.
That's what I'm saying. He's stepping away, boosting.
But the thing is, he ain't beat him twice. He only beat him once. It's a tie. It's a victory
for him to come back against Wilder.
I just feel like
I think that's what he's gonna do. That's what I think. That's his move.
I don't think that's what the people.
You never know.
It's gonna be interesting.
Like you said, it could be a legacy thing. At
least we know.
I guess. Be a legend.
At least we know it's going to be a year and a half away. It's going to be at least in June of.
Don't take a minute.
April of 2022. So he's going to have his time off, especially after that second Joshua fight in December or so, and maybe April or May. Who knows?
But who's to say Devontae Wilder is even coming back after that?
Depending on how much they're gonna offer him,
probably.
But when you think about it, it's like his pride. I think at this point it's about his pride. He's gonna have to come back and fight.
Yeah,
but he'll have another fight.
If Fury literally wins both fights, Wilder's gonna be like, okay, yeah, we could do this. Especially if, bro, if you're getting paid like at least 50 million just to get into a fight, you're not gonna go train.
I mean, yeah.
Okay
then.
But at that point, I'm not even doing it for the belt, though. I'm doing it for the bread.
Yeah, that's where the line is for a lot of these boxers. Like, am I doing it for the money, or am I doing it for?
Because I really still love it.
Yeah, I mean, like, because
when you get
risking your life every
time
you go into that ring.
It's a business.
I said, but that's the thing. You playing money with your life, like. People actually die or get like seriously maligned in the ring.
Yeah,
like seriously hurt, brain damage, eye sockets bruised. Like people do not come out the same sometimes. So if you're risking it for money, just for money rather than the love of the sport, it's gonna be tough because you're not gonna put in the same amount of work. You're not gonna love it the same. Like it's gonna be different. The same way with all sports. If you're doing it just for the money, you're not gonna put in that work all the time. Or you're going to put in that work that you think is worth whatever you're doing rather than the work that you love to put in. And, we all both, as former athletes or y'all former athletes, I'm still current. So, it's, you do it for the love, you know what I mean? You don't do it for the money, but yeah.
I don't know. I just feel as though at this point he has had a fight in so long.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, why come back? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just feel as though it should just be step away if you're gonna step. If you're gonna fight, it needs to be right now while you still feel like you got something, not a year or two later when you done aged twice and now your muscles a little bit not the same. It's just not the same anymore. You ain't moving like how you would move 2 years ago. You done lost a step.
It's gonna be interesting.
You go and fight somebody like Anthony Joshua, who I really just after he lost to Ruiz, I just had
for a while.
huh?
So you didn't hear about him for a while.
Exactly. And then he beat Ruiz. So it was just like, it was just weird to me because it's like, why don't you go fight him again? Like y'all 1-1 right now. Why are you fighting Tyson?
He's trying to get the belts. That's all. It's not about personal rivalries at some point. It's about trying to gain the belts, get the legacy. We'd be like,
But my thing is, this is why I don't think it was about the belts for him. Because when Devontae had the belt, Anthony wouldn't fight him.
Oh, he was scared. That's
what I'm saying. Like, so why would you fight the man who just beat him?
Because, well, yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's like if you beat, well, yeah. I mean, it doesn't make sense, honestly, to be like
you didn't want to fight him, and he just lost.
All right, I want to fight you. It doesn't make sense, but in the same breath, as a competitor, of course, I want to fight the best. But that logic that he had, like, I'm not going to fight the best that was at that time. But as soon as he beat him, oh yeah, I'll fight him. Well, it's like, what? Come on now. Like, what's really going on? Do you think he's softer? Do you think he's a better matchup? Like, what's going on?
And that's what I think it is. He might actually feel that Tyson's a better matchup.
He might be. He actually boxes rather than brawls. He might be.
Yeah, I think that's why I think he's more confident with Tyson because I think he thinks he can outbox Tyson.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting, but
because Tyson don't really brawl, but Tyson can fight. But he's
more. If he can switch it up if he needs to.
Yeah,
he switched it up for Wilder at times.
But I know Wilder is just a straight brawler, and I don't think that Anthony has that in him. Like I don't think Anthony can straight brawl like Wilder. So like the matchup for him was just wasn't good.
He didn't expect it because that's not his style of fighting.
Yeah. So it's like he just went with the easier matchup because he feel as though he can better match up. I don't like that. Like if you gonna fight for the belt, you should have fought for it back then too. Like if you're gonna fight. Don't be choosy. Come on.
I mean, look, you can only fight one person at a time. I don't know if he had a fought Wilder, would he have been like, why didn't he fight Ruiz? I don't know. So at the end of the day, man, he's got to live with decision he made. He can blame it on the suit as much as possible, but the fact is he lost, and he's got to come out again in a year and a half with all this training that he's done and try to avenge that. That's bottom line. He's got to win the next fight, whatever fight he does.
That's for sure.
Yeah, but
man, it's been a pleasure speaking.
One last thing. I just want to acknowledge, because we were on boxing, the marvelous Marvin Hagler. He passed away this week. So condolences out to the family from the Chocolate to the Game family. Marvin Hagler, he was an amazing fighter, pound for pound, one of the best. Iron chin, iron hands, like his hands of concrete. Like one of my favorite fights that I like to watch is Tommy Hearns and Marvin Hagler going at it in the lightweight. I think it was a championship fight. And it was just the amazing. It was 2.5 rounds. It was just amazing. The barrage of they were going to war. That was a real warrior in the ring. So Marvin Hagler, rest in peace, and condolences to the parents.
Definitely.
Most definitely.
Well, we're back at it again. Another conclusion to Talking to the Game. I'm your host, Marquise, and like I said, it was nice talking with my two brothers.
It's your boy Joe Sue.
KB, another week.
You know
And
what I
we
mean?
out. Peace.
We out.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Chalk It to the Game podcast. You can find us on Instagram at Chalk It to the Game, Twitter at Chalk It the number 2 the Game, as well as YouTube at Chalk It to the Game channel. You can also catch us on every platform where you can find your favorite podcast. Just search Chalk It to the Game and enjoy.